All right, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed really early last night, so I'm up really early. My kids got school in the morning, so I'm usually up at 7. But I was in bed a couple hours before normal. I'm getting old. So apparently, I didn't do a very good job explaining what I was talking about with the layout thing. People weren't understanding, and people were getting distracted by the yoga pants. Totally understandable. I get it. It's cool. So I'm gonna try this again. What people aren't understanding is somebody had made the example of, using 3 3/8 and then using a 2.5 inch pin layout. Yes, you're gonna see a difference there, but an example of using the extreme. That's what I was talking about. Anything under 3 inches, getting closer to your axis, that's going to be one extreme, and anything above 6 inches is going to be the other extreme. Now, everything that lies in between there, you will not see a visual difference. So what people are getting confused is they think they can drill a ball at 5 inches and then drill a ball at 3 3/8 and change the angle of the core a little bit, and one ball will start up at 25 feet and the other ball is going to start up at 50 feet, and that is not the case. And I'm not sure why people think that. I had another person that said you can change that layouts are a matter, that ball motion through the pins is a matter of feet, not inches. I'm not really sure where you're getting that information from, because you can change the entry angle of the ball by less than an inch, and one would strike and one wouldn't. And then another person brought up, well, you're talking about the big difference in the ball motion in your Pride video too, where you did the two different layouts. Yeah, well, I'm being a little bit over dramatic because I'm trying to get you to see the difference that you can barely see, and it's all down lane. So I'm talking about one ball getting down there a little bit cleaner. And again, we're only talking inches. It's just inches. Whereas the other one wants to try to start up a little bit quicker in the back part of the lane. And again, maybe 6 inches at most is the difference in that bowling ball. So we have to understand that. So when we're talking about like a core, like let's say something like this would be an asymmetric core, that extreme difference are the two opposites. It's either you're sitting the core like this, and so the core is rolling this way, so you're going to see that motion, or you flip it and it's sitting like this. Those are the two extremes, right? So it's rolling like this. Everything in between, where you're getting the core to wobble going down lane, you're not going to see a difference visually. You're not going to visually see a difference on the lane. Where it's going to make a difference is all down lane. And I think that's where people are getting confused. I want you to, anybody that has the ability, I want you to, or somebody had actually mentioned pin up versus pin down. Again, I already proved that theory wrong too. You do not see a visual difference in those bowling balls. I even took one of Mo Pinnell's videos and overlaid them, because he was using Throwbot with his, and he tried talking about how big of a difference you saw in ball motion from the pin up versus pin down. But when I overlaid the two videos and put the balls on top of each other, there was zero visual difference. The difference all came with how the ball went through the pins. One deflected a little bit and one didn't. That was the only difference you saw. For the first 60 feet of lane, the balls were identical. So I've already proved that. I don't know if I can find that video again. I could probably just do it again with one of Radical's videos, but and then that's not to say, again, none of this is to say that layouts don't matter. It's just to say that layouts are not going to make a ball hook feet in difference. That's the difference here. You're not going to see feet of difference. You're going to see inches of difference. So for those that were saying in that Supernova video, a different layout would have made that ball, better, maybe inches down lane, but it wouldn't have made it do something different in the front or the middle part of the lane. So that's why those reviews are so important, is because I'm talking about what the cover stocks are doing in the front and the middle part of the lane. Now, if I go and I put a 2-inch pin on that Supernova, you're going to see a big difference in ball motion, because now I'm laying the core down closer to its axis. It's going to get into a roll a little bit faster. That's the difference. or vice versa. If I go to 6 inches or better, the same thing. You're doing it on the opposite end, and it's going to get into a roll faster. It's going to migrate less. It's going to get into that axis a whole lot quicker. So people just need to understand that the ball motion difference is going to be down lane. You know, all your change front to back is going to be with surface. You've got to change the surface of the ball to get it to hook overall more, or to hook earlier. And just layout alone isn't going to do it. Layouts are good for tweaking how the ball's going to go through the pins, and minor changes down lane. If you want the ball to hook sooner, you have to change the surface. It's as simple as that. So I hope that kind of clears it up a little bit. Maybe my little visual here of, again, it's as if the core is rolling this way, straight end over end would be one extreme, less than 3 inches or closer to 1 inch pin. And then the other extreme would be 6 inches plus, where you get it and you flip it around this way, and now it's rolling this way, right? And then everything else in between is how it wobbles this way. Now, the wobble is what's going to make it flare a little bit more. And the max would be that 3 3/8, where it's kind of wobbling like this, right? So you're getting the most amount of wobble, which is creating that little bit of wobble with the ball, which is making those flare rings get separated, and making more of the cover stock touch the lane. Yes, that does create more ball motion, but again, we're talking inches. You're talking flare that goes from, this to that. And that's just a few extra flare rings that are touching more surface of the bowling ball, which does overall give you the look of more hook. But again, it's not going to be a major difference front to back. You're not going to see the difference with your eye per se. So just be careful when it comes to this, thinking that you're going to change a layout or do something dramatic. Like, unless you do something dramatic with your layout, it's not going to make much of a difference. It's all going to be surface change. So just change your surfaces. So hopefully that helps. I'll see you guys later.